Episode 509. Soft Mist's spear strikes came in a relentless flurry, driving the cleric back to the water's edge once more. She had all the healing skills she needed, but no chance at all to use them. As a cleric, having to rely on potions to heal herself was frankly beneath her dignity. Her health potion was still on cooldown. Given the damage the enemy was dealing, the cleric knew she wouldn't have time to wait for another one. She was either going to die, or her teammates would save her. Any move she made now would be pointless. The cleric simply sent a message in the party channel.
Hurry up! I can't hold on much longer.
That guy is so damn slippery. We almost had him surrounded just now.
The four of them were now racing desperately toward this location.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! I'm gonna die!
The cleric was frantic. In just the time it took to send a few messages, Tang Ru had already pushed them to the water's edge.
Finish him off. If your APM is high enough, you can make it.
For Tang Ru, this kind of talk from Ye Shu was undeniably effective. She absolutely refused to let Ye Shu's final assessment of her be that her APM just wasn't up to snuff. She knew her APM was her greatest asset right now. If even that was looked down on, she'd be utterly mortified. A flurry of keyboard clacks and mouse clicks followed, weaving simple attacks and skills into a seamless, rapid-fire assault that hammered into the cleric. The cleric never expected her opponent's attack rhythm could accelerate even further at this moment. She had held onto a strong hope of being rescued, but now, watching her health bar plummet, that hope began to cool. She watched her four companions drawing closer with every step, but she knew in her heart she wouldn't last long enough.
Hang in there!
The elementalist among the four of them, being a long-range attacker, began chanting the moment he entered his skill's effective range. Tang Ru heard the shout and flicked her view over to the elementalist, spotting him mid-chant. Right then, Ye Shu's voice rang out from her side.
Ice wall. Move up another 2 body lengths.
Tang Ru immediately attacked to advance. The moment she completed the displacement Ye Shu had described, a crisp crack sounded behind her. 3 ice walls stood straight up, forming a triangular structure. If I hadn't moved those 2 steps, I'd have been trapped inside that ice cage. That elementalist instantly placed the ice wall in such a precise formation. The execution was quite skillful.
Damn, that's so cheap.
Over there, the elementalist was shouting in frustration.
You wouldn't be in this mess if you just kept your mouth shut.
The other 3 were just as frustrated.
Indeed, if the elementalist hadn't shouted that "hold on," Tang Ru wouldn't have turned her view back to check the distance. If he hadn't turned his view to check the distance, Ye Shu wouldn't have noticed the elementalist's chanting was for an ice wall. Tang Ru felt a pang of guilt. She knew full well that without Ye Shu, she never would have made such a precise call. She'd have been 80% likely to get trapped by that ice wall. With her high APM, she could shatter the ice wall in an instant, but killing that cleric was a race against the clock. That tiny delay was enough to change everything.
That was close.
Tang Ru felt a wave of relief, but her hands never stopped moving. The sound of her frantic inputs continued without pause. Seeing that even this last-ditch effort had failed to stop her, the cleric's final shred of hope was finally extinguished. Just as the elementalist over there began chanting his next spell, Soft Mist suddenly darted away, whirling her spear back in a final strike that landed squarely on the cleric. The cleric's body crumpled to the ground. The cleric's name in the party list had already gone dark. He was dead as dead could be. He just hadn't chosen to respawn in the city yet, so he hadn't officially left the party.
Get in the water.
Ye Shu had already given Tang Ru her new orders.
Huh?
Tang Ru was taken aback. Get in the water? Wouldn't that expose her weakness? Did he want her to practice underwater combat right now? Tang Ru was confused, but she had already sent Soft Mist diving into the water. 4 figures followed right behind Soft Mist, already well within attack range.
Down, turn, backstroke, flip.
With Ye Shu's continuous stream of commands, Tang Ru finally realized that with this prompt system, she really shouldn't have been worried about getting in the water. But fighting like this is just a bit dull.
Don't be so mechanical with your inputs. Put some heart into it. Find the rhythm.
Yi Shu watched Teng Ru maneuvering soft mist through the water according to his instructions, and suddenly spoke up.
Huh?
Dragon Tooth.
Dragon Tooth? Now?
Teng Ru was confused, but she executed the move anyway. The Dragon Tooth strike, which had seemed completely mistimed to her, landed squarely on one of the ghost blades swimming past. Teng Ru instinctively followed up with an attack, executing a sky strike, but the character's drifting, bobbing motion in the water caused the blow to miss completely.
Did you hit it or not? Pay more attention.
I see.
Teng Ru understood Ye Shu's intention. From then on, she no longer questioned his instructions, and she barely even kept her eyes on the enemy. The task of observing their opponent's movements and giving Teng Ru prompts had been completely handed over to Ye Shu. Teng Ru was focusing more on carefully observing the timing and effect of each strike.
Holy crap.
What's going on here?
The four of them weren't stupid. After just a few exchanges underwater, they could tell something was drastically different. Soft Mist didn't look like she was bad at underwater combat in the slightest. She was a master of it. Fighting like this, the four of them didn't stand a chance. They had no real skill in underwater combat. They just jumped in, thinking they could bully him with numbers. Little did they know, he wasn't afraid at all. In fact, he found it easier to fight them down there.
That's so damn sneaky.
Realizing they'd been tricked, the four of them dared not continue the fight in the water and just wanted to scramble back to shore. After all, Teng Ru was acting on Ye Shu's instructions, so she was just a fraction of a second slower. It was unlikely she could keep all four of them completely tied up. But in the end, Teng Ru still managed to pin down two of them,